Alright guys, we are moving on to Raven for Unpopular Opinions. She's actually within my top 10 favorite DC characters of all time. I think everything about the character is really cool, and I would like to see her used much more in a more popularized setting. Now, a lot of what people said on the community post for her Unpopular Opinions seems to be along those lines. She should be used more, and the way she's being used, maybe she should be used differently. Even a couple of things about her relationship status, the people she maybe should be with. All of that and more, let's look at some of your guys' comments and see what you guys had to say. Ryan the Man: Raven deserves her own series, either mainline or Black Label, that focuses on her, the magically mind-bending, extra-dimensional, dark and esoteric side of DC, like Swamp Thing and Sandman, and not being just an edgy, sad, dramatic teen like certain comics have done by putting her in a regular school setting and stuff. I think a Black Label comic book of Raven would actually be perfect. A character like her could really thrive off of that type of style of writing. Now, I know a lot of the comments here talk about her being edgy just to be edgy. It's the appearance of Raven, it's the ideals of Raven, it's the powers she holds that give this idea that Raven is always edgy. I understand. And I understand we as fans of this character are getting bored of that. However, I think DC Black Label would be able to utilize the edginess properly, and the edginess they're going to use is not just modern day stuff. In Black Label, it would not be so cut and dry as, oh, she's a goth girl who listens to death metal and likes to paint all her makeup black and wears hoods where you can't see her eyes and crosses her arms and makes sure no one looks at her and has crazy tattoos at the age of 16. Edginess is fine when there's a specific reason to be utilizing it, and you do have a reason. Look at who she is. Look at who her father is. The entire character is edgy. The entire character is giving off that vibe, but utilize it properly. And I do tend to find that Elseworlds is a much better way of experimenting with these characters, so I think Black Label would be much more suited than the main timeline. Gwyn Corley: Raven is the most underutilized character. She has this incredible, literally demonic strength, and yet it seems like the rest of the DC universe is determined to keep her in a smaller role solely because she's primarily a Teen Titan. I'm not saying she's Kryptonian strong, but she's strong. Well, it does feel as if that Raven has been secluded to the Teen Titans for as long as I can remember. There's really only two instances I remember her not being in the Teen Titans. One is Justice League Dark, where, I think that is a very suitable position for her. But then two was Injustice, and she wasn't necessarily part of the Justice League in those games. She was just working for Superman's regime. She is much more deserving of a bigger spotlight in the DC universe, and I feel is deserving of an upgrade the way Cyborg got an upgrade. In the New 52, they propelled that character to being a Justice League member, to being one of the main seven. I'm not necessarily saying you have to shove her right into the Justice League. I wouldn't necessarily complain if they did that. However, she does deserve that type of popularity upgrade. She needs to be seen a lot more than she is currently. And just to talk about really quickly her strength and the abilities she has, I just went to the DC database to find all of the powers they have listed out for her. Just take a look at this. Human Demon Hybrid, Astral Projection, Soul Self, Darkness Manipulation, Energy Construct Creation, Psychokinesis, Flight, Chronokinesis, Intangibility, Teleportation, Hellfire Manipulation, Empathy and everything there that comes with it, psionics, magic, which, I mean, obviously, but within that magic is dimensional travel, force field, chronokinesis, electrokinesis, pyrokinesis, eldritch blast, size alteration, and much more. And even look here, under human-demon hybrid. It was noted by her father Trigon that she only uses a small potential of her power, and if she lets out her full inner demon, she may reach near infinite power. The girl is 100% one of the most strongest beings in the DC universe. Haniputani. She and Zatanna need to team up. Her knowledge of her father could help Zatanna find new dimensions. Plus, their opposite personalities can work well. Well, actually, it's really interesting someone here said something about Zatanna and Raven kind of working together, because when you think about it, all the main superheroes have their sidekicks. Batman and Robin, Superman and Superboy or Supergirl, Flash has other Flashes, Wonder Woman has Donna Troy or Wonder Girl, the list goes on. Raven never had that role model figure that she could really look up to, and certainly it's not going to be her father. I always thought it would be really cool if Zatanna was that role model figure for her, if maybe Zatanna took on Raven as her own sidekick. Their opposite personalities would contrast really well together, and I think the two characters would simply get along together in the first place. Pattongilbert. I wish they had kept her as much of an empath as Marv Wolfman used to write her. Nowadays, because of the TV adaptations, she's only seen as the edgy goth girl who uses magic and loves Beast Boy. Her being an empath is crucial to her character, opening many more avenues for arcs and developments, especially romantically. Well, I also think that's super important to her character. Being able to understand, feel, and control all types of emotions, like literally no filter at all. There's a lot of advantages that can come with that, and of course a lot of disadvantages. But she needs to be able to know how to understand that and how to control that. She can steal the emotions of other people. She can absorb pain from others to help them heal from their injuries, or she can even heal herself. She can have flashes of the future. She can even enter someone else's mind to experience what they're experiencing at the time they're experiencing it. Now, of course, to be a hero or a good person, she needs to use these in accordance of what makes someone good, I guess. But what this can do for her is help her how to control her abilities, how to understand the human side of who she is and other humans around her. In all honesty, it can also help her get what she wants. She can use this stuff to her advantage. So much of Raven today has become the Azarath Metreon Zinthos thing, and oh my god, I see darkness. I see my father. My head hurts. She has far more than just that to offer. Here we have two comments that are on the same basis but are two different opinions. The first is from Tray Station Edits, who says Beast Boy is a good boyfriend for Raven, but I think Damian fits better because they both have their issues with their dad and they are both darker characters. The other one comes from Guardian Tree. Can't stand the Damian and Raven ship, probably because I don't like Damian. Also, the love-hate relationship with Beast Boy is more entertaining. There were quite a lot of comments here on who's better, Raven and Beast Boy or Raven and Damian. I personally think it's Raven and Beast Boy who's better. Now, two things here. One, yeah, I don't like Damian, and a lot of people know that on this channel. Also, two, I don't know much about the Damian-Raven relationship, so I don't know what it has to offer. I don't know the details on that relationship. Maybe if I did, I might like it. I'm not too sure. I'm mainly gonna go off of the relationship with Beast Boy because of the nostalgia from the TV show and also the live action show we had, which I thought they were pretty decent together in that. However, I'm gonna open the door for this. What about Raven being with somebody else? Maybe there is a different character out there in the DC universe that is a much better suited character for her. Maybe it doesn't need to be Beast Boy or Damian Wayne Robin. Maybe it can be somebody else. Once again, if this character was a little more popular, you might be able to get away with more stuff like that. Stephen Newhall. Raven, like Cyborg, should be brought into the Justice League. No shade to the other Titans, but she's, in my opinion, the most recognizable member of the team and probably the most powerful. She's clearly capable of handling massive threats, such as her own father Trigon and even the Spectre, as we saw in Dark Crisis. Plus, the struggle with her darker half would make for more compelling stories. Start with giving her a series where we can explore her as a character, establishing her own little universe with a supporting cast and rogues gallery. Then bring her into the Justice League once the team finally, eventually returns. So to summarize, my hot take or unpopular opinion is that Raven should leave the Titans and join the Justice League. It's time. There were quite a lot of people here talking about her being on the Justice League or Justice League Dark. It's time for her to move away from the Titans. And I've already previously said, yes, she has been secluded to the Titans for far too long, to the point where that's where they only use her and for nothing else at all. And I want to be clear, this is not me saying I don't like Raven on the Titans, because I do. I think it is a suitable place for her, but not forever. And that is the problem. It feels as if it has been forever. I don't mind Cyborg. He's not my favorite character. However, if he's a character who can get the upgrade treatment, why hasn't she yet? She is far more than deserving by this point. I always talk about how if there's one thing the Justice League does not have, their one disadvantage, if you will, it's the fact that they don't have a magic user. And that's why on my personal Justice League team, Zatanna is one of the members. However, if they were to change things up and make it Raven, I am absolutely 100% okay with that because I think it works. She's a very adaptable character, so let's try and adapt her then. I'm also 100% open for her being in a Justice League Dark because that is another absolute perfect setting for the character. Her amongst a bunch of other supernatural, magical, fantastical characters, yeah, that's a good fit. As for Steven here and anybody else on this community post who said this, I'm in. Let's make her a Justice League character. If the Justice League is not already crazy powerful as it is, she makes them completely unstoppable at this point. So here is my unpopular opinion or my hot take of Raven, and it's not even about her, it's maybe what they should do with her. I don't necessarily know if they've ever done this with the character in history. I think maybe the closest you could get here is what they've recently done, which was the Unkindness Raven, where she had the powers of the Four Horsemen and Shazam. She was bad in this situation, but I think Raven should have her own Phoenix type storyline the way Jean Grey does in Marvel. Raven going through that type of situation would be insane and really fun to read or watch or whatever they would do with it. Having something like this billion-year-old power of the universe imbue itself into Raven because they have a strong connection. Or Trigon throws all of his being and his powers into his daughter, and now she has her father's powers and her own powers. Whatever it might be, give her a gray area. She's not just so black and white. She's not now just straight up evil, time to kill the entire universe or half the universe. Maybe there is a goal in mind that she has that she needs to complete, but she has people by her side who say, hey, Raven, I know you're different now, but hold back a bit. Don't go too crazy. Don't go too overboard. So even though our heroes need to almost fight Raven from being all-time powerful and murdering everyone, she also needs to work with these people to obtain her goal. So it's a very strained and easily breakable relationship, and it's about how to keep her in line without her going haywire because the thing within her so desperately wants to be set loose. I think it would also be really interesting to maybe even take this into an Elseworlds type of a story, because they would never do this in main continuity, but maybe she does pull off this parallax moment. Maybe she does kill more than half of the universe. What happens is over time, maybe the entity within her dies or something happens. She regrets her actions, and she even tries to create her own universe to see if she can fix these mistakes, if she can right these wrongs. And she's basically planning an eternity to fix what she's done because she regrets it so much. Now, of course, though, I'm not saying that Raven should be in that state forever. I just think it would be really cool to see Raven have her Dark Phoenix moment. There you go, guys. Unpopular opinions on the character of Raven. So at the end of the day, I do think a lot of us can come to the agreement here. She needs more exposure. She needs to become more popular. I don't know if it's gonna happen anytime soon, but here's hoping for in the future it does end up happening. So thanks to all of you for commenting. I really appreciate it. But if you didn't get the chance to comment your unpopular opinion on the community post, feel free to do so in the comments of this video. As I always say, I do have a list of characters that are coming next, but feel free to comment a character below and I will add that character to the list and we will eventually get to them. But that is all I have for you on this one, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and until next time, I will talk to you all very soon.